Yeah, I think what happens is everybody's looking around for somebody else to make the play, and a lot of that's from the past was you look to five to make the play, and then five, had some guys that were supporting him and helping him make plays, and I think what you got right now is when adversity hits, everybody looks to five, but trying to get the team to understand we're not asking five to make every play, right? We're trying to play as a team, and we're trying to ask him to make the play required, and also ask you to make the play required. And so I think what happens is two things when we have success, right? Guys get satisfied. They get fat and happy, as opposed to every. It doesn't matter what the score is, and that's something that I talk about a lot. Is you can't play to the scoreboard, right? And when you play to the scoreboard, you're externally motivated. So then it's easy for you to make justifications, right, for you not to give your best effort. But when you're internally motivated and you're playing from inside out for your teammates, right, grateful for that opportunity, then you push yourself a little bit harder because there's some collective accountability. So I think it's twofold. The guys are struggling to handle success when they have success, and then when adversity hits, we're all looking around and we just don't have guys right now that are stepping forward and saying, "Hey, I'm going to be the guy that's going to make the play." They wait on Brendan, and unfortunately, when they wait on Brendan, it's forcing Brendan to be in a tough predicament to make a play, and then he tries to, and his buddies don't help him out.
Greg, and then like that's surprising today, given that you guys got the fast start you've been looking for the past couple of weeks, and then after the fumble, it
Yeah,
kind of went out of
I felt last week at Duke, we didn't come out with the right energy. I felt like the guys came out with really good energy. They had good focus. They had a great pregame warm up, and boom, we get off to a fast start. Okay, and then Brennan, we're down inside the 20, and he's not trying to fumble, but when we're coaching you in practice, right? Take the coaching, right, and make sure that it's not just a yes sir and move on. Like, hey, this is why we're doing it. Okay, and man, we even stopped this week, and I had some of the offensive guys come up and try to teach the 5 points of pressure, right? So that we talked about how you properly carry a football and why we carry it. Even talked about, man, the history of the high and tight. It's a Virginia guy that went with the high and tight, and Tiki Barber. Man, he put it up there, right? So just trying to create some accountability. But again, there's a lot of, especially with your veteran guys, and I know it and I understand. I'm a football guy. There's muscle memory, right? And so, guys, just sometimes you get in the heat of the battle, you just revert. Okay. And that's where we got to be disciplined and just trust the coaching, trust the training, right? So that you don't revert. Okay. Because if you revert, you put yourself in jeopardy. And it's not even guaranteed when you do it exactly right that you're not going to have some failure. Okay. But you're better off trying to do it right and minimize the failure than put yourself at risk by not doing it right.
Tony, you've drawn a lot on your experience at Clemson
Yep.
and Dabo and how you
Yep.
want this program to run,
Yep.
a lot of big picture things. What do you go to? What do you draw from handling the losing and the struggles? Because obviously you got to live and deal with it.
Transparency, and being honest. And that's how Clemson became successful, right? So people are focusing on the last, 7 years, right? But I was there for 11, so I was there when we started 8-0 in 2011, and we lost, three of the last whatever games. Okay, I was there for the Orange Bowl, when it was 70 to whatever. And you know what? If you go back and you watch that game, if you remember, Andre Ellington fumbles on the 1 yard line, right? We're up by 4 points, getting ready to go up by 11. He fumbles on the 1 yard line. They return it for a touchdown. We press on the next drive. We throw an interception. Now the game's over, right? Just in a matter of two drives. So it's not all success, and even in victory, right? That's when you learn, right? A lot of times, what happens is in victory, guys enjoy the victory, and they have a different self confidence about themselves. But you gotta handle success well, okay, and then you gotta grow through your adversity. So for me, how I handle it is I'm building a program, right? I'm building a program, and guys are going to run on and off the field, right? We're going to have an appreciation when we go to eat as a team. And I told the guys in the locker room, if we go to eat as a team, you're going to clean up after yourself. It's nobody else's job to clean up after yourself, and that's where we got to grow, because then you know what? It creates an appreciation. Okay, and once you have an appreciation, then now you can transition to be internally motivated, not externally motivated, right? Because the game is long, right? Energy is going to fade, right? From the stands, from the music, from all that stuff's going to fade. What are you going to draw on, right? It's that internal motivation, and it starts with an appreciation and a belief, and a belief, and in that belief, you make a decision. And that's what we've been talking about with this football team. There's a lot of expectations, right? I have expectations. They have expectations. The fans have expectations. The administration has expectations of this program. But before you can reach your expectations, it starts with a decision, right? You got to decide to be successful. And you got to decide that every single play you're gonna play to win, that you're not gonna take a play off, right? That you're gonna decide that our core values, right, running on and off the field, dressing like a team, right, being disciplined, which we're not doing a great job of right now. Ultimately, that's what we're playing for. So I got to do a better job as the head football coach of making sure that that is clear within the organization, and that's what we coach to, and that's the standard that we practice to. And that's what, and either we're going to coach it or we're going to allow it. That's what I learned from Coach Sweeting, right? And so there's some things right now, right, that are being allowed that we gotta eliminate.
Hank and Jerry.
Hey, Tony, the first couple drives and then the last scoring drive, I think up in the press box we were saying, wow, this looks like a lot like last year. Did you guys adjust the offense at all just to kind of maybe lean a little bit harder towards the things that what you have now is good at?
Right. No disrespect. No disrespect at all. And I know you didn't intend it that way, but I'm tired of hearing about last year, right? That's the problem is everyone wants to say last year. Last year was last year, right? Some of those guys aren't here, right? And I know you're asking the question because for you on the outside, it looks like last year. We've done things to simplify, right? To try and take some off of the plate. But part of the problem is everybody wants to say last year, last year, last year. I'm not last year. I wasn't here last year. I don't know what the culture was last year. All I know is what I'm trying to establish, and that's been a big point of conversation for everybody in the organization. Is like this isn't last year, and you know what? Last year, what you did last year does not carry over, right? And so last year, you guys built a chemistry together, right? Y'all had a cohesion that y'all built because y'all put in work last year to build that. We got to put in the work for this year, right? To build this chemistry, to build this cohesion, right? So that we can go forward. Because unfortunately, I don't know how Coach and I called the offense, to be honest with you. I don't know what his schemes were. All I know is what I believe in, what Coach Kitchens believes in, and how we're going to do things. And I got to get guys to fully buy into that because, and I had this conversation with several of the guys, is, the year before, 2020, how were you guys on offense? I said, we were solid. We were good. We were working. We had some growing pains. And then boom, they explode in 21. Okay, so now we're back here. We got growing pains. Let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's go to work, right? Let's go to work so that we can build the chemistry for this year, right? And don't waste an opportunity. And I said this, and for those who were in the locker room and they heard me say it is man, I'm heartbroken, right? I'm heartbroken because man, I want it bad for these young men, right? But I'm gonna do it the way that I know how, and I got to build a program. And they're trying to figure out because there's a lot of things that are new, and so what they know is from last year, right? But we got to move forward and in the direction of where we're headed, right? Because I can't replicate last year. I can't do what they did last year. I got to do what I know is and what I believe is best for this program and going forward. And I know you didn't intend to ask a question like that, but it just man, that's something that I'm trying to get everybody around here to understand is this is not last year, right? And you know what? If let's say we don't have a finish with a great season, you know what? Next year is not going to be dependent upon what happened this year. It's always about what's next, what's in front of you, right? And we're spending too much time, and we talk about it. And this was one of the things that I believed in, and I learned when I was at Clemson is that the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror for a reason, right? So you can keep your eyes going forward, not looking behind. Now we have to sneak back there, sneak a peek to see what's behind us before we change lanes. But man, we're going forward, and that's just the mentality that I'm trying to get a lot of these young people in this day and age to understand. Because ultimately, when you want to get to the top of the food chain in this sport, man, it's a different era up there, right? You got to think different, you got to act different. Everything that you do has to be different. Thank you.
The running game struggled today. What did you see there, and how disappointing was it in some of the short yards?
Yeah, I mean it's the short yardages. The first one, there there's really no excuse for that. We were going on a fast tempo. They weren't even lined up, and we let one guy make a play. Right? We got to go get that on the quarterback sneak. Okay. The second one, it looked like the information coming from up top was saying that it was first down, so we were trying to go fast, and then before we knew they'd already snapped the ball. right? And he was stopped in the backfield, and so really it was all second effort for him to even get the ball, in a position, and it's just disappointing because we've struggled with a 3-man front, right? One-on-one blocks, guys, and you know what? Teams are going to continue to do it to us. Nobody's just going to line up in a 4-down front and give you an opportunity to have 2 double teams in all of your run schemes, right? So we got to learn how to win one-on-ones, and it's technique, but a whole lot of want to. So that was disappointing, and then just in the run game, it was out of sync. A lot of one-on-ones and guys, because again, with their structure, right, with that 6-man box and a zero nose, and then you got an overhang, you got to push single blocks, and then you don't give the center much help before he climbs, or he's got to rip through, and then the backside guard's got to come on, and angles are difficult, right? But the guys are capable, and that's what I got to do a better job. And then we got backs that are falling down, man, they're looking for the ground. I need guys that are going to run through the smoke. Developing a mindset of somebody being an eraser. Be an eraser. Make your offensive line right, and don't wait on the spot. Go past the spot so it's not even a potential human judgment, right? That it's clear cut, and there's no doubt that you got the first down. So definitely disappointed, but hey, we're not going to abandon the run. Okay, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back and go to work, and these guys got to get better, right? Because we can't allow teams to make us one dimensional. Now that doesn't mean we got to rush for a ton of yards, but we got to be efficient. We got to be effective with the run game, because you know what? Off of that, it sets up a lot of the other things. And when you can't run the ball, then now you're strictly in drop back pass, right? And then going back to last year, right? They could do that very very effectively because they had 5 older linemen that had worked together, had cohesion, right? I got guys, just trying to figure it out, and man, there's a lot of stuff that's happening to them.
We'll go Jeff and Gene, and then we have student athletes available.
On the 2 interceptions that Brennan threw, was that miscommunication with the receivers?
I think the ball was a little bit inside, but we got to win at the top of the routes, because what's happening is if you look early on, we're long foul balls. We're off on the deep balls, right? So those are low percentage throws to begin with, and you don't want to make a living there. Okay, so now you're going to go to your intermediate game. Okay, and then there's going to be sometimes when in man coverage you got to go win one-on-one. So we got to do a better job of winning at the top of the route. And then in situations like that, Brennan's got to put the ball on the receiver, man. He can't leave it inside at all. And I'm anxious to see what that looks like actually on film. But I thought the ball might have been a little bit inside on that curl route. And then the second one, truth be told, just being transparent, man, it was an RPO with the quarterback draw, right? 2 shell, 2 safeties. You run the football all day long. You don't throw the ball up into it. But again, pressing, trying to make a play, right? He's trying to make a play. He's trying to go to Wicks, and they're just playing you 2-man. Right, so in a situation like that, you got to recognize the coverage is 2-man. So in 2-man, that's ideal for the quarterback draw. But again, those are things that I'm trying to teach, Brennan, and because again, it's a lot to sit back there and have to manage the game, right, and make the play and know what everybody else is doing. So the other one was just a bad decision to throw it up. We should have ran the quarterback draw, go get us 5 yards. Now it's 2nd and 5. We're ahead of the chains. Boom, we're moving.
Gene with our last question.
Tony, your impressions on the defense with no sacks and no tackles for losses, specifically that 4th down and 2 play with it.
Yeah. Well, if we wrap up, we'll have some TFLs. Man, we're hitting the guys in the backfield and we're going with shoulders, right? Or we're diving at the legs. And I think about Jonas. If he wraps up, that's a 2-yard loss. Now it's 2nd and 12. And Jonas is a young guy, man. And I've been on him hard because he's extremely talented and talented. He's very smart, But we got 2 off the edge, right? It's option football, dive quarterback, contain, right? 4th and 2, he wants to take a chance, right? So he says, well, I hadn't seen the quarterback pull it on film, but the reason we're telling you to stay contained is because the quarterback's probably going to pull it if you dive down in there. Well, he takes a dive down in there. Next thing you know, the quarterback does exactly what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to read the widest defender. The widest defender chases, he pulls the ball, he spits out, and it's a 4th and 2 situation. You're in man coverage right there. And they had a call, we had a call, thought we had a better call. We just didn't execute it, the right way. And then disappointed too that we didn't get to the quarterback. And there were some times I thought early on that they were getting close, but I think as the game wears on, man, that their quarterback builds confidence. And if you watch it, his confidence built over the course of the game, right? Because he wasn't on target early on, but then as the momentum shifted, he gains a little more confidence. He starts making some plays. And then, you know what? He's ready to pull the ball down, move in the pocket, do all those kind of things because he's feeling he's feeling good. And then for us to give up 6 sacks, some of those we need to throw the ball away. But man, that's just unacceptable. Unacceptable. We got to go back to work and get it figured out.